Well, before I begin this particular screen share, I'd like to explain how this particular class got approved. Actually, there's three entities that approved this particular Gmail and Google Tools class. One is Brandman University, so people can actually get graduate credit points. The other is LAUSD, and then the other is the Teachers Union at LAUSD. And when I was getting the class approved, they came back to me and said, Donnie, we want you to include in the class the utilization of these tools in the classroom. And so we want you to give teachers a homework assignment where they have to actually utilize these tools in their workflow of their daily life, teach them to students, and give feedback and reflection on what their experience was of actually helping students in the classroom use these tools. Okay, why do I mention that? That's because I want to prepare you in lesson 5, 6, and 7. Of course, we're only on lesson 2 right now. But in 5, 6, and 7, you're going to have some exercises that will utilize these tools in your work life. Now, I realize some of you are kindergarten teachers and you're thinking, whoa, wait a second. I don't know if my kindergartens can use these. Some of you are school nurses. Some of you are administrators. So I realize that and I get that. And, you know, basically this class is offered all across the United States and you're in different situations. But begin thinking about how you can use these tools in your workflow. If it's not to teach it to students, maybe it's to collaborate with other teachers. If it's not to collaborate with other teachers, maybe it's to email parents. If it's not to email parents, maybe it's for yourself where you have a list of lesson plans that actually map out the entire year and you don't have to print it out each time. It's all on Google Drive. Anyway, just start thinking about how to use this in your workflow. And so basically, let's go ahead and go to Gmail. And the focus of this lesson is actually how to compose a particular email. And so let me go ahead and log out of this. That was just a little bit too easy. I'm going to sign out. It looks like my Chrome had things already logged in. I'll shut this and let's go ahead and go to Google again. Okay, so we'll go to Google. I'm going to go to gmail.com. Because I have several accounts, it presents me with all the accounts that I have with Gmail. You may remember I created Donald JR, and my password is 1EAT at FRI. You may remember that, and you may be thinking, Donnie, why are you letting us know your password? Well, some of you are actually taking this class while you're standing in a grocery store line, or you're getting the gas, and you'd like to be able to just go to some account that's easy and follow along. And so I am giving you access to this account. Feel free to jump in. As a standard rule, yes, you're absolutely right. We should not go into other people's accounts. So I do hope you've created your own account in lesson 1, and you can use that and remember that. Basically, one of the questions that's going to come up with some of you teachers, and I realize this may be actually more teachers than not, is that you're thinking to yourself, I don't have computers in my classroom for my students to use. So how do I teach them about Gmail? Well, what you do is you just go up to the whiteboard, and let's here's a web page. It's https://awwapp.com/draw.html. I'm saying that for your benefit, but pretend this is just a chalkboard. So you only have one computer lab, or let's say you don't even have a computer lab. Your students are going to need to practice on their mom's iPhone or go to a library or a Kinko's, FedEx, to practice their homework. But get innovative of how to train people on technology even if you don't have all the resources available. And Chalkboard and Chalk is excellent technology. Technology are tools to help you attain an objective, and so Chalkboard and Chalk is excellent. And so this is our Chalkboard. And basically what we can do is, let me go ahead and cancel this. You can just say, okay, class, we're going to learn how to use Gmail. So when you go to your computer, you're going to have a browser that looks like this. And you just draw a square. And then you're going to say something like this. You're going to have a button up here, and it's called Compose. And we'll go ahead and, just type Compose there. And when you want to create a new email to somebody, just click on the Compose button. Of course, you'll probably have some inbox email. Let's go ahead and just say this is some email here, there's some email here, there's some email here. But when you click compose, it's actually going to open up a box where you can have a to field. And let's go ahead and do that to field here. And at that to field, you can type someone's email address. And then you'll have a subject line, and then you'll have a body, and in the body you type what you would like to say. Let's make sure we go ahead and draw our little body area here. Okay, so it's not all that nice, but down here you're going to have basically something called send. Okay, yeah, some of you are saying to yourself, whoa, Donnie, you are not a good drawer. Anyway, your send is actually going to be outside the body, but you show them that. You draw it for them, and you give them instructions right there on the chalkboard. And then when you're in the computer lab, or if you have a laptop that you can connect up to a projector, or you just have a computer in your room, or you can borrow an iPad, or you just have your iPhone, you can actually show them Gmail like this. And here we have it. We have the compose here. You click on compose. You type a name. I'll type Donnie@quickietech.com. You type in a subject. One way to use Gmail and Google tools in the classroom. Do a salutation. Dear instructor or instructors. One way to use Gmail in my classroom is to, at some point in the year, get all the parents' email addresses and then begin to use Gmail to send them a note on what the homework will be for that week. Then you sign off, sincerely, Donnie. Okay, so there's about 5 components of a proper email. Of course, you have someone's email and a to address. You have a subject line. You have a salutation, dear instructor. Then you have the body of the email. That's the 4th component. Then you have some kind of friendly sign-off, and then you have your name. So those are the 6 components. Well, there's other cool things you'll do, and in the reading section, you'll see how to filter, you'll see how to add labels. But let me just show you something really cool. Okay, so one thing you can do is you can go to settings and then click here. This gear is usually the settings gear. Then you can click settings here. And let me go ahead and shrink this email by clicking on minimize here, which is a little line. And then you can click labs. And if you go to this labs, there's actually some very cool features. And there's actually one cool feature I did want to actually show you. And that feature is this. You can actually create canned responses. So you click enabled here for canned responses. And then, of course, you have to go all the way back down to the bottom and click Save Changes. And I encourage you to come to this section because you can actually see a few other features that are really nice. Well, what you can do then is, and it looks like I lost my email that I was creating, so I'm going to create something really simple. Donnie, hello from a friend. Dear friend, how are you? Sincerely, Donnie. Okay, not very creative, but I want to show you, now that we can do canned responses, you can click here and you'll see something here called canned response. Okay, let me do that again, just in case you missed it. At the bottom right, there's a down arrow. You can click canned response. Then you can select new canned response. You'll notice there's a pop-up here. There's a name. It says hello from a friend. I'll just keep that. I click OK. And then I can go ahead and send this. Now, let's say that was to a parent. Well, many of you teachers will want to send emails to a variety of parents. So what you can do is, after you've saved a canned response, you put a new email address here, quickietech@gmail.com. And then what you can do is go ahead and click here, go to canned response, click what you just saved under the insert, hello from a friend, and boom, it actually pulls up what you put in there. Now this is really nice if you created the canned response where you just said dear, and you put a kind of a placeholder, and then you had, you know, homework, date due, specific concept, where to go to get help. And basically you could send this out every single time, only you hit canned response, and when it pops up you can basically fill in the details for that week, but you don't have to go through all the minutia of creating the other different things. So anyway, that's a really nice thing that I wanted to make note to you. Anyway, just really quick, you're going to see in some of the videos some other tools that we will not talk about in this class. You know, you're going to see Google Calendar, and of course all you have to do is click on this. You can click here for Google Calendar. You'll see that presented as one of the tools. We won't talk about this, but it's very easy to use. Another thing you'll see is Google Sites. So you can type in sites.google.com. And this allows you to actually create a teacher site. One eat at FRI. And so what you can do is click create, and very simply you can create your own personalized teacher website. There's also Google Chat, and I won't get too much into that, but what you can do is you can actually talk to other people through the chat system, which is now integrated with Google Hangouts. Or you can just click right here. It says no recent chats, but you can start a new one, and you can search for someone. I'll search for Donnie.wise@gmail.com. I can go ahead and send this person a message. Let me go ahead and open up another browser. And one way to get to a new email account, I can click Add Email Account. Because I had created my own personal account in a different way, I can do it here. So this is my personal account. If I go ahead and click here, start a new chat with Donnie.wise@gmail.com, I can then right here say hello. And then if I go back to my Gmail account, I can click at the bottom here, and there's multiple conversations that I'm having. One was sent from here, from Donald Wise, my other account. I click accept, and you'll notice I see their hello. I can then say, hey, how are you? Click there, return, go back, and you'll see, hey, how are you, appeared at the others. Now I'm talking with myself, and I realize that's a little bit funny, but I just wanted to show you some of these nifty features. We're not going to talk about Google Chat. We're not going to talk about Google Sites. We're not going to talk about Google Calendar. We're just going to talk about Gmail, and then Google Slides, Google Sheet, and Google Doc. But because you're going to see some videos where different features are used, I just wanted to show you these. In another course, we will do a deeper dive into creating Google Sites, sharing calendars, and using the collaborative tools of chat. Great. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and we'll talk to you soon.